This video is brought to you by
Cool green clothing. If you ain't cool and getting the green, you're in the way, and that's just basic. This set right here is called the Doe Team Short Set. And this right here, you definitely want to add this to your closet right here. And the easiest way to do that is to go online right now, coolgreenclothing.com. And thank you for your purchase.
What's up, fam? It's your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 times, and I'm back with another video. In this episode of the Baltimore Way, I'll be telling the story of Carlita Coleman. She was last seen hanging out with a group of former friends from high school. She was found in a wooded area 3 weeks later. But before we get into this video, welcome if you're new here to our channel. Please feel free to subscribe, click that notification bell to get notified every time we upload. If you're rocking with the content, don't forget to hit that like button. Share this video with everyone you know. Make sure you watch until the end to hear the full story. All right, let's jump right into it. Carlita Coleman was not your average 21-year-old. She had lived through a lot and lived in foster care for 12 years before moving out of her foster mother's home in Catonsville. Carlita and her birth mother had a bond and loved each other dearly. After Carlita moved out of her foster mother's home, they both lost contact. Carlita was described by her foster mother as a follower, but she had a free spirit. Carlita loved to dance and loved school. Like any average young adult trying to navigate through life, Carlita was in the beginning stages of finding herself while having fun in the process. On Thursday, October 15th, 2015, Carlita met up with some old high school acquaintances and a former friend at Westview Neighborhood Park. Once she arrived, the group of friends had already been hanging out. The get-together started around 2 p.m. Carlita's former friend, who I'll call Rhea, was there along with Rhea's brother, who I'll call Justin, and Justin's girlfriend, who I'll call Michelle. Rhea's ex-boyfriend and Justin's good friend was also there, 23-year-old Terrence Newman. Rhea and Terrence had dated for over a year. Rhea's and Justin's other brother came by at around 4:30 p.m. and was there for about 30 minutes, but left just as Carlita arrived at 5 p.m. Records say throughout the afternoon, Terrence was the person providing the group with the drinks. Earlier during the gathering, Terrence brought a bottle of slightly watered-down vodka. Terrence, Justin, and Michelle shared the bottle. Rhea didn't drink. When the bottle was empty, Terrence made a trip to Walmart and purchased a bottle of wine. However, the wine bottle was corked, but no one there had a corkscrew. So Terrence decided to break off the neckline by hitting the bottle against a nearby tree. The break, unfortunately, was well below the bottle's neckline, and about half of the bottle spilled out. They were left with barely a pint. The final resupply to keep the party going was 2 big gallons of vodka. The music and the vibes would go on. Now, as tempting as it was to stay and hang out, Justin and his girlfriend Michelle retreated and decided to head home so Justin could catch Thursday night football. The New Orleans Saints and the Atlanta Falcons were playing that night. So by 7 p.m., Justin and Michelle left the party. And then there were 3. Rhea, Carlita, and Terrence were left. Rhea soon began to feel like the neglected third wheel as things began to spice up between Carlita and Terrence. The two had not known each other prior to that afternoon, but they did a lot of getting to know each other in that short space of time. Rhea sat alone at the table, and the new acquaintances went off to a separate table and continued getting to know each other. Rhea described the two as flat out drunk. Carlita and Terrence's lack of discretion was enough for Rhea. She ended up leaving about a half hour after Justin and Michelle left. And then there were two, Carlita and Terrence. 3 weeks would go by when Justin would see his friend Terrence again. On November 5th, 2015, at 11 a.m., Terrence arrived at Justin's home. Justin recalled that Terrence repeatedly kept saying he needed to wash his hands and he needs hand sanitizer. Justin said that Terrence's hand smelled like a dead skunk. There were also maggots on Terrence's lower pants and shoes. Next thing you know, Terrence began a confession of some sorts that was sketchy and in extremely general terms. Justin said Terrence told him he did something bad. He said he didn't mean to do it. In a statement from Justin to police, he said Terrence told him that once everyone left the park, he and Carlita went for a walk in the woods to have intercourse. But she tried to choke him, so his military instincts kicked in and he hit her and choked her, ultimately taking her life. Justin said Terrence then said he dragged Carlita more into the woods, covered Carlita's body with leaves and sticks, and then walked home. Justin said Terrence told him he had just checked on the body and found it covered in maggots. Justin said Terrence told him he buried it back with more leaves. Terrence suggested that Justin not go back to the park because the smell was getting stronger. After Terrence's grisly confession to Justin, Justin was stunned and took his concerns to his girlfriend, Michelle, at her workplace. Michelle convinced Justin that, for his own protection, he needed to bring the matter to the police's attention. So Justin did exactly that. Justin got a photo of Terrence from Facebook and then forwarded it to police. On that same day, Terrence made his confession to Justin. Baltimore County Police searched Gilston Park, where the Westview Neighborhood Park was located, at around 10 p.m. Under a mound of leaves, they found the badly decomposing body of Carlita Coleman. Terrence Newman was later arrested uneventfully and was held without bail at Baltimore County Detention Center. An autopsy identified Carlita's cause of death as homicide due to asphyxiation. There were multiple areas of bruising in Carlita's neck muscles. Charging documents said Terrence spoke with police and denied taking Carlita's life. He told police he returned to the park because he had lost something there. Even after Terrence's arrest, police were still trying to determine a motive and learn more about Carlita, who had no fixed address at the time, so police released her picture to help get answers. No one had noticed that Carlita had not been seen in 3 weeks. No one had reported her as missing. There are parts to what Carlita had going on at the time that remained a mystery. Just over a year later, Terrence Newman went to trial for the slaying of Carlita Coleman. Not only did Terrence's friend Justin get on the stand and testify of the confession Terrence made to him, fellow inmates of Terrence also testified in court that Terrence told them about the night of October 15th, 2015. Each story was pretty much similar, but a few details were different. Terrence told his cell buddy and another inmate who was present that as the party of October 15th was breaking up, he and Carlita had committed themselves to more intimate interaction. They needed to find a place as they could not go to where she was staying or his house because of the presence of their respective parents. That's how they ended up in the woods. Terrence told the inmates that they got started intimately and were making out and messing around. At some point, Carlita started to fight Terrence off and things escalated. He also told them he choked Carlita. He checked for a pulse and he didn't find one, so he discarded her body and covered it with leaves. The inmate said Terrence said he felt he didn't cover her enough and was worried about it. So over the next several days and weeks, he went back checking on her. One of the inmates also recalled a dream Terrence told him about, where he was involved with a woman, and out of nowhere, when he leaned in to kiss her, maggots started to come out of her mouth and out of her face. The defense never denied that Terrence was responsible for Carlita's passing, and it seemed like they were leaning more towards a self-defense claim, alluding to the idea that Terrence didn't mean to end Carlita's life. He was trying to restrain her and only restrain her. In the defense's closing argument, they asked the jury to freely consider whether his client was under attack from Carlita or that he had been concerned for his safety. However, that argument did not sway the jury, and Terrence was convicted on November 8, 2016, for the slaying of Carlita Coleman. Months later, in January 2017, Terrence was sentenced to life in prison. He later tried to appeal his case, but the appeal was denied. Rest in peace to Carlita Coleman. She's gone but not forgotten. My deepest condolences to her loved ones. May she continue to rest peacefully. The series of events that happened the night Carlita lost her life is so unfortunate. No means no, even after initial consent, period. The amount of alcohol consumed played a dangerous role that night. Not everyone knows how to hold their liquor, but everyone at the party was grown and ultimately responsible for themselves. I know many may not agree, but we all must be accountable for our own actions. Maybe Carlita felt safe at first alone with Terrence. She began to sober up and no longer wanted to have intercourse and tried to get away. Terrence, in the heat of the moment, wanted to finish what they started, and things turned fatal in the blink of an eye. Fam, what do you think could have been done differently that night? Leave your thoughts on this in the comments below. All right, fam, that's it for this episode of the Baltimore Way. Thank you all so much for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. This is your girl, Mrs. Tony 2 Times, and I'm out.